Hey guys, Miss Beckett here. So I'm just here to talk to you a bit about your JCEA Solo Reflections and understanding what you need to put in the document. So you've got to talk about the key competencies. Okay, so this is using language, symbols and text, thinking, managing self, relating to others, and participating and contributing. In your outline, you must provide at least 3 examples of how these key competencies are being used, and then explain the examples and how this has affected your progress in health and PE and outside health and PE. So the using language, symbols and text, all of our documents have a link to our YouTube video. Okay, so if you go into the video, it will show you what is expected for that key competency. Okay, so for using language, symbols and text, okay, to be at a pre-structural stage, you have a JCEA score of 1, and you cannot reflect on your progress of using ICT and completing reflections. A JCEA score of 2 or unistructural means that you can start to learn and reflect on your progress, but it's limited and you have to be reminded. A 3 involves the fact that you're multi-structural and you can learn and reflect on your progress by completing the reflections. When we get to 4, that's when we become relational, which means that we can start to make links between how this is successful in health and PE. And then if we want to get a JCEA score of 5, then we're able to evaluate different things and we can relate them to how it's going to help us both inside and outside of PE. And that's by providing clear examples. If you say it helps me participate, that's not good enough, and we do not accept that. Okay, so this could include device use, understanding of solo, using apps, so the different apps you use in PE and health, completing your solo reflections, and engaging in all class activities. So our thinking, so the same thing in terms of the criteria, you can follow the link to watch the video for thinking on our YouTube channel. So this is all about understanding solo, using the terminology, so saying I'm at a multi-structural level, I'm at relational. Also coming up with strategies that you can use in class situations or in physical activity situations. Learning new concepts, okay, so at the moment we're learning about anatomy and bones or culture, so if you can relate your learning to the thinking around that, that's also good too. Contributing your ideas within groups, within the class, any ideas that you come up with, putting your discussion forward. Showing this understanding and you know what you're learning about. Managing self, so examples, bringing equipment when needed, getting changed quickly, being on time, listening to instructions and completing what is required. Relating to others, things like working in groups or your communication, negotiation and understanding different opinions. Participating and contributing, so this is participating in the lesson. Answering questions, contributing to discussions, looking at our pride focus, being involved in completing work or homework. Okay, so the evidence part of this. So evidence can come in a range of different forms. Okay, so some of the things that we're looking for in the evidence section of our assessment. So this could be photo evidence. So some of our non-doers are taking photos and adding to this to our drive. If you can add these in, even if you're at home and you're putting your PE gear in your bag, take a photo of that. That's part of managing self, and you can put that in the managing self evidence box. Also examples from lessons, so giving clear examples. So today we learned about anatomy, we did this game or we did this activity, and discuss the impacts of that. Any feedback that others give you, this could be both your peers and your teachers. Okay, you can pop that in there. Or any examples of your work you can refer to as well. So your JCEA grade. So your teacher will edit this column after they've read through your work. This can be changed by the teachers if your reflections are changed or you've adapted them, okay? So asking for feedback. If you feel you're ready for feedback, either email, message or tag your teacher in a comment in the document. So if you don't ask, you will not get, okay? So if I am going to explain how to tag someone in the document. So this is an example. I highlight the grade or the area I want checked. I go into the comment, I press plus button, and then I'm going to find, if you're finding me, you'll find Miss Beckett, and then you'll ask your question in that part. Okay. Cool. So that's our asking for feedback. So what do you do with the feedback? So read your feedback and make sure you understand it. Make changes to your reflections, and any questions, make sure you do check in with your teacher. So this is a quick thing on how we mark. Okay, so if we go through to, here's an example of our marking criteria, which will be in your Google Classroom as well. So it gives you from level 1 to 5 and what you need to do for each different key competency. Okay, so it goes through this. So have a look at that. Here's an example of a participating and contributing JCEA Solo Reflection. Okay, so they talk about a few different examples. So they've talked about the example of playing bench boy with Poi Toa and the activities that they've done, and then it's both they've said what they've done. So they've said it involves throwing, running, catching, and what they've done in terms of they got involved with the team. My team got in a circle, we shared ideas and strategies to help us win the game. And then here they've started to talk about all of this helped me to grow and made a very successful PE spell. It also has an example of how it teach me to express and share my ideas, and that giving it your all really helps the team to win in PE. Then in this next part, they've said it'll help me outside the classroom as I'm more comfortable to give ideas and put myself out there. Okay, so there's one example. And then a situation where it could help me outside PE is when brainstorming in a group, discussing in a meeting, coming up with plans. Okay, and then they've linked back to how these skills that they've learned in PE are going to give them an advantage in everyday life. Okay, so they've given examples. They've provided ways in which they've helped them work in the class, and then given some ideas about how it will help them outside the class as well. If we come back. Okay, so the ability you show to complete your reflections determines that you're at a relational and extended abstract in the solo understanding. So that means if you can demonstrate, give examples, you can tell us how that helps you in PE, then that is a relational level, and if you can then extend that and tell us how that helps you outside of PE, that's an extended level. Cool. So some of the resources, so you've got lots of resources that you can link to. So you got your solo marking criteria, you've got your HCPE YouTube videos, and teacher feedback. Okay, so make sure you use the most of these resources. Key tips: do not turn in an incomplete reflection. Okay, lots of people have started to turn in their work. Okay, and then you say, I can't edit this. Okay, make sure that you unsubmit if you are wanting to edit a document, but do not settle for a score. Make sure that you've checked back on your grade that your teacher has given you and that you're okay with it. Don't settle for a 2 or a 3. That's not good enough. You should be working harder if you're looking for feedback. Make the changes that you need to, and ask for feedback on what you can improve for next term as well.